are tens of thousands of videos with children or child porn.
If there was a video of some guy committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
What are your thoughts on the children and the child porn and all that?
First of all, in my mind, there's no more horrible crime that exists than a crime on a child. I would like to think that Pam Bondi was speaking off the cuff and was talking about what she expected to learn, expected to see. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt here. I really believe that Kash Patel is telling us the truth when he says if there was any evidence of a crime, by God, he would be the guy to demand that it be prosecuted. That's why I celebrated his appointment as FBI director, because we needed somebody who's going to tear the place down to the bare studs.
How do you think he's doing?
And rebuild it. I think he's having a tough time. I think he's facing a lot of headwinds, and I think that he would tell you that he has not accomplished what he thought he could accomplish.
Is that due to the bureaucracy?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would say that if you appointed Jesus, well, Jesus can walk on water, so maybe that's a bad metaphor. But it's tough. It's a tough job.
It's a tough job.
So how do you think Pam Bondi's doing?
I like Pam Bondi, and I think she means well, but I don't think she's accomplished as much as most of us expected she would have accomplished by now.
So she could have been speaking off the cuff, like many subjects do.
I really believe that.
It is a little. The question is, should the Attorney General of the United States be sharing all this with a stranger in a coffee shop?
No.
Is that there are questions about the discernment and the judgment of the chief law enforcement officer of the Department of Justice there. And then, do we have any other clips from Epstein team? Schnitt, one more. This is Schnitt talking about Ghislaine Maxwell and the deal, or the alleged secret deal that she got. Let's play this guy, who was fired from the Department of Justice after we recorded this.
Yeah. She got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender, and they're not supposed to get minimum security prisons, which is an interesting detail because she's getting a benefit, which means they're offering her something to keep it.
Transferred to a minimum security prison in exchange for a deal. Your thoughts on the Maxwell dynamic?
Yeah, I've written about this too. It is absolutely anathema to BOP regulation to allow a child sex offender to be anywhere near a minimum security prison. They can't be in maximum or medium because they'll be killed there. They can't be in minimum because they can just walk away and have access to a child again.
What's the solution?
So they have to be in a low security prison, which is where she was until her transfer was ordered. Something I just have no understanding of.
Do you believe that what that man said is probably true?
Yeah.
To keep her mouth shut?
I think it is.
Again, I keep going back to accountability, but people are demanding to know why weren't they arresting anybody as it pertains to Epstein?
Yeah.
Why?
You know, I hate to say it. The simplest reason, I think, is the correct one. The statute of limitations on just about all of these crimes has expired or have expired.
Including against, was it 5 years for rape?
5 years.
Yeah. 5. Well, that
unless you can prove an ongoing conspiracy, in which case the statute of limitations would reset itself every day.
Well, that's what the guy said in our video last week. The FBI guy said, they'll run the statute out. There'll be a different president.
Yeah.
He was just being honest.
Yeah, he was being honest.
They fired him for being honest.
There it is. That's Washington. Harry Truman said, if you want a friend in Washington, buy a dog.
I mean, it's almost true of human nature, isn't it? They fire you for being honest, and the child rapists go free.
That's right.
And it's not necessarily, this is my commentary. I don't know if it's Cash's fault. I like Cash. I've met Cash. I don't think Bondi's I actually can't make a comment on her. I've met her once at a dinner. I don't know if it's the individual. I think it's the nature of humanity, human nature.
I think you're right.
Bureaucracy.
I think you're right.
So in many ways, what you're fighting against and what I'm fighting against appears to be human nature itself.
And that's why it's such a tough fight.
It is. It's a difficult fight. And the American Republic, the American experiment, we have a very unique framework, because we have a bicameral legislature and separation of powers. This is a very big question I'm asking you, but are we at the end of the rope for the American experiment?
You know what? As things stand today, I think actually that we are. I hate to say that, but there's going to have to be a major constitutional reset where the legislative and judicial branches of government reassert their co-equal authorities. Otherwise, we're kind of devolving into chaos.
Factions like the Federalist Papers?
I think so.
Is that what you mean? Like mobs?
Yeah, I do. I think so.
Like in the Minnesota, you saw in the agitation. And I hate to predict the future questions. I don't answer them, but I am going to ask you a predict the future question. Are we looking at like a few years? Is it the next election? Like what's going to happen?
No, I
here?
think this is an incremental process.
Okay.
I really do. I don't think it's going to be revolutionary in any way. I think it'll be evolutionary. It'll continue to get worse, but it's not just going to explode. I don't think we're seeing 1968, 1969 all over again, but I think we're getting there incrementally.
Well, what strikes me is the political prosecutions, because they go after all the Republicans, and now Trump's kind of attempting with Lemon and these others, but I don't know if they're I don't know if those cases are gonna go
I don't think
anywhere.
they'll go anywhere.
And Biden raided my newsroom, and that was dropped because there wasn't even a colorable crime.
Right.
But is there going to be a detente, like where both sides, or is it just going to be like Brazil? These guys get in power and they go to prison. What's your prediction?
We're going to have to back away from that. It's certain death for the system. It really is, because it's only going to get worse unless the two sides back off. And we really have to be able to believe in the judiciary again.
I think we've lost faith in our institutions.
I think
Everyone
so too.
asks which party appointed the judge.
Yeah,
which is completely.
It's like the first question.
And I reject the premise. I mean, and some Article III courts are not corrupt. Federal judges, this is my opinion, probably the least corrupt thing I've seen. I've seen a lot, as have you. There still is, for example, the First Amendment is still generally upheld in Article III courts.
Yes.
They haven't taken that away yet.
That's right.
But you got to litigate. You know who stands to gain from all the political prosecutions is the lawyers.
Yeah. They
You
get
said
rich.
1.1 million?
1.15 million is what I still owe.
You still owe that?
Yeah.
And in our case, it's 25% of our budget. The process is the punishment. Well,
the process is the punishment.
We're out of time, and I could talk to you for 5 more hours.
It's been fun.
Is there any closing comments you have about any of what we've talked about, or anything you'd like to share?
Well, you and I were talking about just before we started filming. In our guts, we know what the right thing to do is. Always trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Yeah, your children are going to be proud of you, and you'll be able to sleep at night.
Sometimes it's hard. It's hard for, even if we know the right thing, how do you trust? How do you know what is your gut? How do you know what that is? That sensation.
You know, I've always believed that human nature is such that intellectually we know what the right thing to do is, even if we don't always do the right thing because maybe it's easier to do the wrong thing. Maybe you get a temporary benefit, but deep down we really know what the right thing to do is. And I think that even when it harms us personally, I've been ruined. I went bankrupt. Friends and family members walked away from me. I'm unemployable. I have to work for myself, essentially. But I like my life, and I respect myself. And I think for all of us, that's really what it comes down to.
Do you find that people, just one follow-up question to that people, you hold a mirror up to the other guys who didn't make the difficult decisions that you made, therefore they kind of resent you? Or they hate you because you had the balls to do something they didn't.
I get that. The day after I blew the whistle, a retired deputy director of the CIA emailed me, and he said, "You've chosen a difficult road. I only wish I had had the guts to do it myself."
I only wish. Or people will say to you, "I can't do what you do." And your response is, "Yeah, you could."
Everybody could do what I did.
Everybody could, but they choose.
You make a decision not to.
I don't know if we can save the country unless people do what you do.
Thank you.
As hard as it is.
And you.
It's, by the way, this is hard.
It is hard.
This is brutal. Brutal. I don't mean to make a joke, but it's like Shakespeare said, "Put all the lawyers at the bottom of the ocean." I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. They profit off corruption and human suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get lawyers hired here. And if you're watching and you want to work as a general counsel, we'll pay you. We'll pay you $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year. But you're still gonna have to take a pay cut from that $1,000 an hour. It's all about greed, isn't it? Yeah. And I could have had a life where I made $1 million a year using my talents. It's that's the thing that gets me. It's the betrayal of the good people that do nothing. The good people that do nothing. Mm-hmm. All that is required for the triumph of evil is for good people. I'm not angry at the evil. I'm angry at the good who do nothing.
That's right.
Do you feel the same way?
I do. 100%
That's how I feel every day.
This is James O'Keefe. You know me for exposing the truth and holding the corrupt elite responsible and accountable. However, today I want to tell you about protecting your own freedom, your finances. Right now, the warning signs are everywhere. Gold just shattered another record, soaring above $3,750 an ounce and climbing towards $4,000. That's over 44% this year alone. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, major banks are forecasting targets ranging from 4,000 to 5,000, even as high as 6,000 by the end of 26. The economic storm clouds are gathering fast. The Fed just cut rates again, but inflation is proving stickier than expected, creating a dangerous mix of rising prices and economic uncertainty. JP Morgan still sees a 50% chance of recession, while trade tensions and geopolitical risks continue to escalate. And let's not forget what's happening overseas, from the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict to China's economic challenges and persistent deflationary pressures. The axes of power continue conspiring to avoid sanctions and Western influence, undermining the dollar's dominance, while central banks worldwide are loading up on gold reserves at record levels. That's why we and I have partnered with American Independence Gold. They're veteran-owned, and proceeds from every sale go to Tunnel to Towers Foundation, supporting our first responders and nation's heroes. And listen, right now, I'm offering my followers in the trenches this incredible one-time opportunity to credit your account up to $10,000 in free gold and silver on a qualifying purchase. That's right, this will help you get started protecting your wealth with real physical gold and silver while these historic price levels are still within reach. Every day you wait brings gold closer to $4,000. The price is only going to go up. The smart move is to act now. Go to OkeefeMediaGold.com. That's OkeefeMediaGold.com, or call 833-324-4653, 833-324-GOLD. Again, that's OkeefeMediaGold.com or 833-324-GOLD. Take action, get the facts, and protect your future, because freedom isn't given, it's secured. This is James O'Keefe. Don't just watch history, own a piece of it. What is your price? Because if your price is not your life,